If you ever wonder what killed passion, it lies behind the word profession. That right there is a line of a lyrical piece I was originally working on. It was supposed to be my return video, but I guess I never got the inspiration to finish it in the end. And I've just been really wanting to return to YouTube, obviously. But along the line, I almost quit because it's like just a state of things. I came into this thinking that I wanted to be like the people I grew up idolizing. Like PewDiePie or you name them, YouTubers, right? Like nowadays, I feel like YouTube is mostly people doing it for the content, people doing it as a business, but that charm of just kind of being yourself and recording yourself and that being your brand is kind of gone. So just seeing the state of things just kind of discouraged me, right? But the main killer was when I was doing research and I was trying to get a little bit like mathematical, you know what I mean. I searched up how to organically scale a channel, doing the whole meta thing and all that. And I was just very disappointed with what I found. And what I found was that essentially to grow a channel, right, as a small content creator, if we want to grow this channel, the way I grow it organically is by stealing other people's ideas. And that right there just disgusts me, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm somebody who has the ability to come up with original ideas, and I like to create. I don't like to copy. But unfortunately, the way it goes is that if if you're a bigger creator, you could come up with your original ideas, and you could actually start the chain of other people trying to copy your idea. But if you're a small content creator, unfortunately, you have to just kind of play by the meta. So like you just gotta copy what other people are doing and just kind of give it your own flair to it. That's why it's so hard to be a small content creator nowadays, I noticed. And that's where I, and maybe even you, assuming that you're a content creator and whatnot, that's kind of where I almost pulled the plug, right? Because when I realized that, wow, this is not what I wanted it to be, I almost like just retreated, you know what I mean? Just gave up on it. But then I started really thinking, you know, why did I want to do YouTube in the first place? See, to me, YouTube has always been like an instrument. Like I want it to be a way where I could document my life, you know what I mean? Because I want to show you guys and the world the things I actually am gonna do. And I also want a way that I could go back and kind of take a look at the stuff I did and just kind of look at the journey, you know? Right now I'm here in my room, and I don't know where I'm gonna be in the future, you know what I mean? And I don't know what might be the case for you, but just whatever it is, you know what I mean? Just kind of, we gotta take a look at the bigger picture. Me personally, the reason I didn't quit is because I just think about what I actually want to do. And I think about how important doing this is to me, you know what I mean? My goal here in the channel is to build a community eventually. Like I want to have an influence on people, you know? And I want to do that in a way that it's almost like a friendship. I do not want to be a content creator to you guys. I want to be like a friend. I want to be someone that, I don't know, you could reach out to me and, just kind of talk with me. Especially right now, since I'm going to be like in the very early stages of my career, I guess you could say. I just want you guys to just reach out to me. You know what I mean? If you're bored, let's play a game. You know what I mean? If you want to, vent about something, I'm right here. Life sucks sometimes, you know? And if I am to achieve that, I'm going to need to play by the rules. You know what I mean? I'm going to need to suck it up. I am going to need to go out there and just see what people are uploading and just kind of do my own take on it, right? I'm going to need to have some sort of consistency in terms of the content I'm going to be making. So like, make no mistake, because the vision of the channel, of doing it for the love of the game rather than doing it for the numbers, still very much alive. And that's kind of like the main point I want to get to in this video. And that's where I'm going to flip the scope onto you. So like, say that maybe this whole YouTube stuff is your big dream. Like I said earlier, for me, there's just so many things I want to do, and this is just one of them. But say that this is your be all dream, right? Just really think about it. Think about what it is that you want to achieve. Think about why you really want to do this, and make that be the reason why it's worth playing by the rules right now. Because like I said, it changes down the road. You become a big content creator, all of a sudden you're not going to be the one stealing ideas. You're going to be the one getting your ideas replicated by so many other content creators. Also, don't let the numbers intimidate you. I know that this game feels like an uphill battle. It feels like a game of odds, you know? Just stop thinking about that way and just kind of focus on what it is, you know? Focus on consistency. Like, for example, what I'm going to start doing is at least I want to set myself a goal to at least post one video per week. Be a YouTuber, not a YouTube channel. Here's what I mean by that. What I mean by that is you want to do it for the love of the game. You don't want to do it for the content, you know, money that comes secondary. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. You become a YouTube channel, this becomes your job. You know what I mean? This becomes your full-time, part-time, whatever it is, but you're still going to be having that fatigue of, you know, working and all that. You know what I mean? But here's what happens if you become a YouTuber. What happens if you become a YouTuber, people are going to watch you for you. So your content expands in whatever direction you want to go, because you're winning your people through who you are, not the content that you're making. Best way to look at it, there's just a lot of channels, but there's only one of you, you know? And if you were trying to get into YouTube, you know, just kind of more with that, like, I want to make money mindset, I want you to like take a step back and reconsider. Even from a financial standpoint, the best way to sell is through authenticity. So, you know, best way to make any sort of money is just by being real, you know? And I cannot think of a better place that reflects that than YouTube itself. You look at the biggest names on the platform, the ones that have made the most money is always the real ones. You know what I mean? You got Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, Markiplier, all of these big names, you know? The KSI, you know? All of these names are people who started doing this by being themselves, you know? So if you really want to take a kind of like a business approach, just really think about that for a minute, because that brings me to my other point. The other reason why you shouldn't quit is because you should realize the value in all of this. Like, if your only motive is financial gain, you haven't realized the value of what this platform is, you know? This platform is how people have built legacies. This platform is how you could start a community and also just have people rallying behind whatever the hell it is that you want to do. This is how you start winning people. This is how you start building influence. And that is powerful with no matter what you want to do. You could be, I don't know, you could be a restaurant owner and, you know, do this on the side, and people are just going to know you. They're going to recognize you. And all of a sudden promoting your restaurant's going to be a lot easier. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't even feel like selling at that point. It just feels like recommendation, or, you know, reaching out to your supporters to support you. You know what I mean? That's the real value of this platform. And that's why you shouldn't quit. Because at the end of the day, you can make any sort of legacy come true in here. You know what I mean? There's so many stories of how a lot of YouTubers came to be. You know what I mean? There's some people who just blew up out of nowhere, and there was other people who like really had to go through it, but their stories are all beautiful in the end, and most importantly, they're documented. So like, that is the real value of being on this platform, and that is why you shouldn't quit. So just keep on pushing, keep working hard, because eventually your time will come, and it's all about patience. And I got one quote for you: you stick around the barbershop long enough, it's only a matter of time till you get a cut. So just stick with it, because quitting is the only way you guarantee your failure. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching, and hopefully that meant something to you. I also want to take a moment to thank everybody who has been subscribed to my channel. Again, it feels like I've said this like so many times, but it's just funny, like, every time I disappear, it just feels like the numbers slowly but surely they just go up. I have not gone a single sub under where I was. So I just want to thank everybody for that. For videos, it's just going to be pretty much the same. It's going to be gaming videos, commentaries, and now reactions. So I'm just going to find videos that I find funny or videos that I find interesting to also give commentary on. Like mentioned earlier, I plan to upload once a week. And if that becomes too easy for me, I might do it like 2 times per week, 3 times, just however I feel comfortable at the beginning. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it for now. And would like to give a little shout out to Happy Pepsi 1234. Maybe reconsider the name, but yeah, I just want to give you a little shout out because I saw the little comment that you left like almost near the end of 2025. I just want to thank you because it's little stuff like that. When I see like a subscriber or when I see like a view on a video that's like 2 years old, that's the type of stuff that just kind of like kept kind of like stabbing me, like come back, come back. So I really want to just say thank you for that because ultimately you're one of the reasons why I'm making this video and why I have restructured the entire channel. Now there is one more thing I want to do before I end the video, and that's just talk about a realization that I had during 2025. 2025 by far was one of the most difficult years for me. Just a lot of unfortunate events, a lot of stress, and just a difficult time. And what I like to do in times like that is always take a positive out of a whirlpool of negatives, right? And what I discovered was, despite all the difficulties and everything, one thing that never failed in 2025 is my ecosystem. And here's what I mean by that. I am truly blessed to have the family I do, to have the friends I do, because during that entire horrible year, the amount of support I got from absolutely everybody, remarkable, you know what I mean? And it's not even, it's in ways that you might not even expect in a moment, you know what I mean? Just simply checking on me, you know what I mean? Simply providing support, helping me out, or giving me stuff. Like, shout out to my dad and my stepmom for getting me a new phone, because that's how I'm able to record this right now without having a camera that is absolute shit. Actually, I got my phone right here. Yeah, this motherfucker, its mileage was done. So seriously, thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the gestures. Just like that one time, you know who you are. Just like that one time, one of my friends essentially paid for my ticket to Top Golf just simply so we could have a good time when I didn't have the money. That's just the type of blessings I have, and I just wanted to acknowledge that. So again, thank you very much for everything. So with that being said, like and subscribe, because I could sense that good things are coming, and I could just feel the shift, the shift in energy. So I'm telling you, I promise y'all that things are gonna start happening, and I'm gonna actually commit this time. So with that being said, stay toxic 21 Legion, now at 40 subscribers.
I think it's the way life changes when in love, yeah. I surround my soul with the positivity. That's why I don't worry about the things that I don't see, yeah.